Hi folks, and welcome back to the Grumpy Gamer channel. That's it, you guessed it. This is that channel where you get to see this old git play those modern games. So for today's in-car comments, a couple of things I wanted to discuss. Last week, as I'd spoken about last week, there's a game came out called Solaris Ghost Signal, which is a roguelite game where you can control a little spaceship. Basically, the premise is you're sort of in God mode, so you can see your hands out in front of you like they're ghostly hands, but you're just floating in space, and you control your little ship to take on other ships, and you warp to different parts of the galaxy and come across these massive weird creatures that you can get resources from. Anyway, so I got the demo last week, and now there was some issues with the demo when it first came out. A lot of people couldn't play it. The devs were aware of it, and so was Sony, but they fixed it now. So if you want to give the demo a try, I would definitely give it a go. I played it yesterday for quite a while. And to be fair, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's only 15 quid on the store, so it's not exactly going to break the bank. However, I haven't picked it. I haven't actually bought it yet. I've just been playing through the demo. It's not a timed demo, but there are certain bits that are locked, like you can't do any research or anything like that. But it's actually a really enjoyable little game. It looks very nice for what it is. Like I say, you're floating in space, so you just look all around you, and there's planets and there's space stations, and there's even things that look like the Death Star. So very nicely done. The asteroids that are floating around you are nice, and you can mine those for materials, etc. And the only reason why I haven't picked it up is because another game's coming out this week. I think it's the 12th, called Propagation Paradise Hotel. Now that definitely looks like one I'm going to pick up, but again, I've been burnt a few times, so I won't get it on release day. I shall wait a couple of days, see what the feel is about the game, see what reports are coming in about the game before I dive in. I'm not just going to buy it on release day and then possibly be disappointed like with some other games that have come out recently. But if you haven't played the demo, it's worth a shot. Even if you're not into sort of sci-fi, it's worth a go just to see what it's all about. But while I was playing this demo, it occurred to me that in all sort of VR games, the ones that work best with the VR technology are sci-fi games. Those two aspects, sci-fi and VR, go so well together. They match perfectly. And what I mean by that is, you've probably seen sci-fi movies where people are touching holographic screens and they're all lighting up and etc. Well, that's exactly what like it is in this game. So you've got your HUD pop up in front of you, and you can select different things and equip different things. So it works really well, VR and sci-fi. Whilst if you look at, say, a more of a medieval type game, like a sword fighting game or Dungeons and Dragons type game, anything like that, it doesn't match up so well. So if you think about it, if you've got to touch things in virtual space, well, that wasn't around when medieval times were about. So that's what I mean by that. I find that sci-fi games work even better in VR than other types of games. I mean, I used to play as a kid. I used to love Dungeons and Dragons and all sort of medieval stuff and folklore. I used to love all that as a kid, and I actually preferred it from sci-fi. Sci-fi bored me as a kid. Like I say, I love my Dungeons and Dragons. I used to play a lot of these when I was a kid. These books, the fighting fantasy books. That one was actually my favourite. House of Hell, and as you can see, I've still got them. These are just a few of them. But yeah, House of Hell was my favourite. These are the adventure game books. Back when I was a kid, yes, we had adventure games on my Acorn Electron when I was about 13. But it was literally just a text game. When it would draw in a picture, it would literally take forever loading in a picture line by line across the screen. I remember a game called Twin Kingdom Valley, which, yeah, it was pretty rubbish anyway. But you didn't have the kind of games, obviously, you had today. And where I got my true immersion was in those books. They did bring out a sci-fi one in the first sort of 10 books called, I think it was number 5, and it was called Starship Traveller. I just couldn't really get into it. But now, being an older person, I actually prefer sci-fi over medieval Dungeons and Dragons and all that sort of magic and all that sort of thing. I prefer sci-fi, and I think it's because when I was a kid, it was all about the fantasy and orcs and goblins and all that sort of thing, and sci-fi seemed a bit too boring. Whilst now, I like sci-fi a lot more, and I think it's because sci-fi is what could actually possibly be. We know with Dungeons & Dragons, we're not going to have any dragons turning up soon, are we? Or some orcs or something like that. I mean, I know in some nightclubs there's some women that look a little bit dodgy, but hey. Anyway, going off that subject. Yeah, so as an adult now, I much prefer sci-fi. And like I say, I think that VR marries perfectly with sci-fi games. I don't know about you, what you think. I don't know whether you're going to pick up this game, Stellaris, the Ghost Signal, whether you've looked at it, whether you've played the demo, what you think of it. Please put it down in the comments, how you're getting on with the game, or even if you're not picking up, and why not? Why doesn't it interest you? What is it about that game? But yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. I think it's worth getting, and I will get it once I've got some of my backlog down and a couple of the other games that are coming out this month. Like I say, we've got Propagation Paradise Hotel on the 12th. There is another couple of titles actually that are coming out that I can't think of right now, that I didn't put in my video last week. So it's really a stacked month this month. So I'm going to get that one, Propagation Paradise Hotel, if it's good, if it turns out to be good. If not, I'll probably pick up this Stellaris. If not, I'm going to pick up Stellaris a bit further down the line. And then later on in the month, I'm just waiting for Phasmophobia. Said this before, that's a scary game that I really want. Supposed to be coming out this month, but we've still heard nothing. If you know what's happening with it, please do let us know down in the comments. So until next time, folks, I'll see you guys on the other side. Adios.